Okay, hi dear students. This is a continuation of the first video on dynamic programming. Here once again I am giving more explanation with respect to the problem matrix chain multiplication. And here I would like to remind you that the objective of matrix chain multiplication is not to compute the final product matrix. Our objective is to reduce the number of scalar multiplications required. How we can reduce the number of scalar multiplications? It is actually by putting or giving different order for multiplying a chain of matrices. How will you do that? With the help of putting parentheses like this. And which property of matrix multiplication actually helped us here? Actually the associative property helped us here for doing this. And the associative property of matrix multiplication, with using that we can have different parenthesization. Also note the point, this is fully parenthesization. Actually an outside bracket also you can see. And this actually gives you the different way of multiplying the matrices. The different way of multiplying the matrices. And here if you go through that, you can see here in this case, the first case A3 A4 will be multiplied, then A2 dot that product will be computed, then A1 dot that product. And here it's a different way, and here also it is a different way. And we are for a together we are for a total we are getting 5 different ways of fully parenthesization. And out of this 5, one will give you the minimum number of the optimal number of scalar multiplications required. And how we can find it out. And manually it will be very tedious, tough task and exponential time complexity, brute force approach. Therefore we have to go for some other programming technique, and with the help of dynamic programming, that is a tabular approach, we can do that. Okay, I am skipping all those things because we have seen this was in the first one. And here the only thing I am again concentrating is our objective is to compute the compute the product AI to AJ. That means AI dot AI plus 1 dot etc. dot AJ. Then the number of multiplications required for computing Mi comma J will be there in the table. I told you in the first video that for this is a tabular method, and we are actually keeping or maintaining two tables. One is M table and another one is S table. What is meant by M table? M table will record, each entry will give you the number of scalar multiplications required for multiplying that chain, and S table will give you an idea regarding whether this has been computed as a product of two subproducts. That is whether you have used parenthesis or not, whether you have splitted it or not, which is actually the split value. And here the trivial one is when I equal to j. When I equal to j, it is a1 a1. There is no meaning in multiplying that. It is actually our objective is a1 dot a2 dot etc. dot an. Therefore a1 dot a1 is actually the a1 is a1 only. That is a trivial case. And a1 there are no multiplications required. Therefore 0 number of multiplication. This happens for all diagonal entries. Okay, this happens for all diagonal entries. And when I less than j, that is actually some sort of dividing or splitting concept will come. When I less than j, the cost of multiplying the matrices ai to aj will be, if you found two optimal subproducts at splitting value k, then you have to compute the matrix product from ai to ak, then matrix product from ak plus 1 to aj, then finally multiply these two products, you are getting the answer for mij. And this is actually stated as a recursive equation like this: mi comma j, that is multiplying the chain of the matrices ai to aj, the number of multiplications required, not the final product. Okay, I remind you, we are not talking about the final product matrix. Our objective is to reduce or find the optimal number of multiplications, scalar multiplications required. Then mi comma j for finding, or the number of scalar multiplications required for finding mi comma j will be the two subproducts mi to k, then the second one mk plus 1 to j, then finally multiplying these two matrices together, we are getting the dimension pi minus 1 Pk, then Pj. This will be your answer, and remember that for this splitting we have only j minus I possible values. That means j is not a value, j is not a choice. We have only j minus I possible values. Okay. And why j is not a choice? If the chain of the matrices are a1 to a4, then after a4 there are no remaining matrices to be multiplied. Therefore your splitting value actually ranges from a1 to 3, not 4. Therefore only j minus I possible values. Okay. Then here the final recursive definition is mi comma j will be 0 if I equal to j. Otherwise it will be mik, the splitting value k, the previous equation, where I less than j. And what is this? What is the value for k? We don't know. There are j minus I possible values for k. Try all the values, then take the minimum one. That is why a minimum is set outside. And this is actually a spelling mistake. This has to be j, not k. Okay, you have to replace k with j here. Okay, this position. I less than or equal to k. That means k is always greater than or equal to I and k less than j. And try all the all possible values and pick the optimal one. That is the one with least multiplications. And take an example. There are 4 matrices a1, a2, a3, a4. The same example we have seen in the first one. Then you will see the dimensions are 4, 5, 5, 3, 3, 2, 2, 7. 7 is not here. Please note it down. Then this is actually a1, the dimension will be p0, p1. a2, the dimension will be p1, p2, because the product is a1 dot, a2 dot, a3 dot, a4. The matrix multiplication compatibility is the number of columns of the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. That is why the dimension has to be like this: p0, p1, p1, p2, p2, p3 and p3, p4. And also note that the number of matrices here are 4 and the number of distinct dimension values are 5: p0, p1, p2, p3, p4. Therefore the dimension values will be 1 more than the number of matrices. And here we have to create 2 tables M and S, and the number of rows and the number of columns in these 2 tables are exactly same as the number of matrices. And the trivial case, you can see all the diagonal entries 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. We are not going to multiply these matrices. They are trivial cases. They are the original one. Therefore 0 number of multiplications are required. And this is actually the S table. If you want, you can leave this diagonal entries. You need not fill anything in the S table. S table will actually give you an idea regarding how you have splitted the first product or original product into 2 subproducts. Okay, what is actually the splitting value? And this value will help you to put the parenthesis. Okay, after the splitting value you should start an opening bracket. Got it? And that is actually the thing. And here M12, the next entry is M12, and by following the recursive definition you have only one choice for the splitting, because I is less than j. J minus I choices, 2 minus 1, 1 choice. Therefore M12 is equal to M11 plus M22 plus P0 dot P1 dot P2. The value is 60. There are no more choices for k value is possible. Therefore you can enter 60 here, and the splitting is actually k equal to 1. Similarly for M23, 3 minus 2, only one possible value for k, that is 2. And you can write M22 plus M33 plus P1, P2 dot P3. And this are 0 and you will get 30. What it actually implies, this is directly multiplying the matrices A2 and A3. This is also directly multiplying the matrices A1 and A2. This is also directly multiplying the matrix A3 and A4. And the splitting is 3. That means 3 and 4, 2 and 3, 1 and 2. Then the next, here comes the role of the recursive definition. It will be more clear too. M13 means you are multiplying the chain of matrices A1, A2, A3. Then where you can put a bracket, you have options. M11 plus M23 means you are computing A2, A3 first. Then A1 is multiplied with that product. Here the answer is different. You are computing A1, A2 first. Then the product is multiplied with A3. These two are quite different. And what are their answers? Here it is 70 and here it is 84. You have to correct it. 60 plus 4 into 3 into 2, 4 into 3 12, 12 into 2 24, which is actually 84. And this is the least one. This will give you more effective way. You group A2 and A3 together and multiply that first, then multiply A1 with that product. That means splitting is at 1. Splitting is at 1 and the least number of multiplications required is 70. Similarly for M24, the splitting can have two choices, 4 minus 2, two choices. And which are the k values? K equal to 2 and k equal to 3. And the number of multiplication 147 and 100. 100 is the least, you will put here, and the splitting value, it is actually 3. That means you will multiply A2, A3 together, then A4. Okay. And here remember that we will fill in the super diagonal entries systematically. You cannot directly jump and fill this row cell. That is not possible. You have to do the one, and also remember that each subproblem is solved exactly once, and that value will be recorded in the table and you need not compute it again. M23, you are not computing it again, it is already there. Here also M23. And this is second one, overlapping subproblems. M13 also shares a subproblem M23. M24 also shares a subproblem M23. That means overlapping subproblems. In the branches of the recursion tree, you can see overlapping subproblems. And each subproblem is solved exactly once. Here comes one major difference between divide and conquer and dynamic programming. If it were in divide and conquer does not use any table for storing the previous computed value. Therefore, it has to solve each subproblem irrespective of whether it has been solved previously or not. And here it does not do such work, repeated work. Therefore, in these kind of problems, if we apply divide and conquer, it will do unnecessarily more work than dynamic programming. Okay, this is one major difference between dynamic programming and divide and conquer. Then you are filling this, then this cell is actually M14. And what is this M14? M14 is quite interesting. This is the final answer. M14 means multiplying the matrices A1, A2, A3, A4. What is the optimal choice? And there are 3 k values possible, k equal to 1, k equal to 2 and k equal to 3. And you compute the values for k equal to 1, k equal to 2 and k equal to 3. When k equal to 3, you are getting the optimal number of multiplication, that is 126. And here you can see that k equal to 3 means A1, A2, A3 together inside one bracket. Then A4 outside that bracket. Then you will go for 13, M13. And M13 here it is 1. That is A2, A3 in one bracket, A1 before that. Therefore, the fully parenthesis will be one full bracket inside that A1, then one bracket inside that A2, A3, then A4, then close the bracket. And this is how the optimal parenthesization is actually going to. This is the final answer. A1, then A2, A3, then A4. And this S value entries will help you. This S value entries, that will help you to arrive at that optimal parenthesization. Okay. And this algorithm we have already explained. These are the tables and these are initialization. This is the recurrence equation. If any of this gives you a better value than the previous recorded value, you can replace it. Update the S table entry also. And this will be implementing the statement minimum computation. That is selection between, you will compute this, you will compute this, you will compute this also, then pick the optimal value. That selection process is actually done using this one. Then finally the M table and S table are returned, and with the help of this S table, the splitting value, you are able to place the parenthesis. And this is actually the optimal parenthesization final one. This has been done with recursive calls, and this recurrence calls has to be implemented or manually iterated with the help of a stack. Then you will get the answer how we are going to put the bracket. The each Sij entry, finally when I equal to j, print a, then put the bracket, that it is actually a, the print, that value will be printed, then bracket will be printed, then that with the subscript I or j, that value with that subscript will be printed, and this is going to be the final answer for that. And with the second example, this is from the common textbook. It's a bigger table, bigger dimensions with a bigger number, large number of matrices, that is A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and A6. Here also we have done the same manner. The S table is created and the M table is also created. The diagonal entries are 0, and here you can see M12, M23, M34, M45, M56. This will give you an idea regarding if you are multiplying A1, A2 as a group, what are the multiplications required. A2, A3 multiply, how many scalar multiplication, A3, A4, A4, A5, A5, A6, and this is something different, A1, A2, A3. This one is A2, A3, A4, A3, A4, A5, A4, A5, A6. These are the possible subsequences. That means we are exploring all possible subsequences and picking the optimal solution. That is why dynamic programming typically applies to optimization problem, and this will give you always the final global optimal answer, because it has systematically explores all possible solutions, and also it defines the optimal substructure, and each solution is, each sub-solution is optimal. That is why the final solution is going to be optimal. And M14, M25, M36 also like this systematically we are building, and the final answer will be this cell, that is M16, and you have many splitting value k equal to 1, k equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, and all possible values you have to compute, and this k equal to 3, then the optimal parenthesization you can do that. This is A1, A2, A3, then A3, A4, A5, sorry, A4, A5, A6, then M13 you have to see, 13 is 1, that is A1, then A2, A3, then 4, 5 you have to see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 means 4, that means A4 multiplied with A5, A6. This is how the parenthesization is actually placed. Therefore, the S table will help you to, these values will help you to where to put the brackets and all. Okay, please iterate manually, then only you are going to grasp the idea of dynamic programming and matrix chain multiplication. Okay, thank you.